Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the hidden stories behind corporate filings. If you ever thought sex reports were all dry numbers, get ready because today we're looking at some interesting changes, especially for the top brass. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you love getting straight insights from these documents. We also have a fantastic Discord community linked in the description below where we break down more filings and discuss strategies. So, what is the big news today? It looks like Dynaresource Inc. is shaking things up with their executive employment agreements, and it is not just about minor tweaks, we're talking about significant changes related to their president and CEO. Rohan Hazelton and their Chief Financial Officer, Alonso Sotomayor. These aren't just paperwork updates, they signal real shifts in how these executives are compensated, and even where their employment is legally based. The report is dated the 20th of November 2025, and it's a current report, meaning it's about significant events that happened recently. Let's start with the big one. The amendment to the employment agreement for Rohan Hazelton, who's the President and Chief Executive Officer. This amendment comes with a few key changes that really reshape his compensation and his ties to the company. One of the most significant reasons for these changes is that Mr. Hazelton is now living in the United States. This has triggered a reshuffling of some securities tied to his employment. Essentially, some so-called Hazelton signing bonus securities that were previously handled differently are now being reissued to him because he is a US resident. This is important because tax laws and regulations can differ quite a bit depending on where an executive resides and where the company is based. Another big change is regarding his annual bonus. Before, his bonus was supposed to be paid entirely in something called DESIS, which likely stands for Deferred Stock Units. Now that requirement is gone. This means his bonus could be paid out in different ways, perhaps as cash or other forms of stock, giving the company more flexibility and potentially offering Mr. Hazelton more immediate liquidity or different investment choices. They've also adjusted his compensation by increasing his base salary by 10%. On top of that, he will no longer receive what's called benefit pay. So, while his ability to receive variable compensation might be more flexible, his guaranteed pay has gone up and a specific benefit is being removed or rolled into other compensation. These adjustments reflect his new residence and perhaps a new understanding of his value and role within the company as Hez now based in Florida. Now let's look at the Chief Financial Officer, Alonso Sotomayor. His situation is also quite interesting. Hez received an offer of continued employment that completely replaces his old contract. A key change here is concerning his Sotomayor signing bonus securities. These are now delayed. He won't get them until the company's compensation committee and board of directors officially approve their issuance. This could mean the company wants to re-evaluate the terms of these securities. Or perhaps they are facing some internal hurdles before they can be formally issued. It signals a pause on that specific part of his compensation until further approvals are in place. Perhaps the most striking change for Mr. Sotomayor is the shift in the governing law of his employment. It's moving from Texas in the United States to Ontario, Canada. This is a major legal and practical change, especially since Hez is a Canadian resident. This move likely simplifies tax and employment compliance for both him and the company, and it means that Canadian labour laws and regulations will now apply to his employment. Imagine your job contract suddenly following Canadian rules instead of US rules. That's a pretty significant pivot. This also implies various other changes in his employment terms to accommodate this new jurisdiction. These changes are formally documented in Exhibit 10.1, which is the first amendment to the employment agreement for Rohan Hazelton. And for Alonso Sotomayor, his new arrangement is detailed in Exhibit 10.2, the offer of continued employment. So, what does this all mean for Dynaresource Inc.? On the surface, these are executive compensation and employment structure changes. However, they hint at broader strategic and operational considerations. The fact that both top executives have had their agreements significantly altered, especially with Mr. Hazelton's residency change impacting his securities and Mr. Sotomayor's employment law, jurisdiction changing, suggests the company is actively managing its global workforce and executive compensation in a complex environment. For Mr. Hazelton, the flexibility in bonus payments and the increased base salary might signal a renewed focus on performance and simpler, more direct incentives, the REC. Issuance of signing bonus securities due to his US residency indicates a need for compliance and perhaps a simplification of how his compensation is structured for us tax purposes. For Mr. Sotomayor, the shift to Canadian law is a substantial move. It suggests either a long-term strategy to base key financial operations or executives in Canada, or it's a pragmatic response to his residency that aims to reduce administrative and legal complexities. The delay in his signing bonus securities could be a precautionary measure by the company to ensure all regulatory and internal approval processes are ironed out before further compensation is disbursed. Looking at the company's direction, these moves could indicate strengthening ties or operations in North America, specifically with executives bridging the US and Canada. Companies often adjust executive contracts to align with their geographic footprint and strategic goals. One notable risk here is the management of these complex international employment agreements. Ensuring compliance with both US and Canadian labour and tax laws requires significant oversight. Any misstep could lead to penalties or legal disputes. On the opportunity side, by structuring these agreements smartly, Dynaresource can attract and retain top talent while optimizing its operational costs and legal framework. In conclusion, Dynaresource Inc. is making active decisions about its leadership and compensation structures. The changes for its CEO and CFO are not just procedural, but reflect strategic adjustments to residency, legal jurisdictions, and compensation flexibility. The company appears to be navigating the complexities of its executive team's international presence with these amendments. What do you think about these executive contract changes? Do they signal a positive or concerning trend for Dynaresource Inc.? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate insights. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community in the description for deeper discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.